Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and the set of Sean Hannity's Fox News show exploded with a vicious back and forth between him and a friend, or a former friend. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. There has been a lot of talk about the resignation of now former Harvard president Claudine Gay. Now, there was controversy about her ever since her comments that many people deemed to be anti-Semitic when she testified before Congress. And a lot of people think that's the impetus for removing her. A lot of other people say she wasn't qualified to begin with and she was a DEI hire. Other people say she's only being forced out because she's a black female, and that if it was a white male, the same thing wouldn't happen, even though a white female did resign from another university that was at the center of that controversy. At the end of the day, Claudine Gay got caught with a lot of plagiarism charges, and that's ultimately what led to her demise. Now, was Harvard looking for an excuse to get rid of her, and they used that? I don't know. But Sean Hannity and his guest, Dr. Cornel West, they got into it on the issue of race. It's going to be a fantastic watch. I want you to listen to both men. And I'm going to show you that clip right now. So before I let you go, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm Carmine Sabia for Explain America. We love you guys. God bless you. Take care, everybody.
All right, as we have been covering, Harvard President Claudine Gay resigned this week amid serious allegations of anti-Semitism, multiple allegations of plagiarism. Take a look at your screen. Here's an example of alleged plagiarism discovered by the Harvard Crimson, and here's yet another example uncovered by the Washington Free Beacon. And these are just a few of the close to 50 total allegations of plagiarism made against the Harvard president, that's President Gay. Now, yet many on the left, they are insisting that Claudine Gay was forced to resign for no reason and was the victim of racist attacks, including my next guest, Dr. Cornel West, who tweeted after Gay resigned, quote, "How sad but predictable that the same figures and forces enabling the ethnic cleansing and genocidal attacks on Palestinians in Gaza, Ackman, Blum, Summers, and others, push out the first black woman president of Harvard. This racism against both Palestinians and black people is undeniable and despicable, and I have experienced similar attacks from the same forces in academia, and too many of my colleagues remaining silent. And when big money dictates university policy and raw power dictates foreign policy, the moral bankruptcy of American education and democracy looms large, but we shall remain strong in our fight for truth, justice, and love." Well, my friend, former friend, I don't know if we're friends anymore, Dr. Cornel West, I mean, you always call me Brother Hannity, and I know you teach divinity, but Dr. West, really? This is really beneath you, if you don't mind me being very blunt. For you to go to the race card and say that Dr. Gay was pushed out because of racism, that's not why she was pushed out. You know the code of conduct as well as anybody at Harvard. You almost got tenure at Harvard. You understand it well. And you know that if similar comments about the elimination or genocide of any, quote, identity group, African Americans, people in the LGBTQ plus community, if any of these comments that were made against the Jewish people were made against other groups, you would not be saying that's racism. And she had a moment where she could have stood out and strongly condemned it and not supported it and not said, well, it depends on the context. She would still be president today. Why did you sink to this low and claim racism?
Well, I didn't sink to that level, though, brother. Let me tell you exactly what I said, and I hope you understand.
I have it in front of me
very clearly. One, no, but I know Sister Gay. She doesn't have an anti-Semitic bone in her body. She didn't speak strong enough. I had a critique of that in the Boston Globe. It was a weak response at the Congressional Committee, but that does that mean that she's anti-Semitic? It doesn't mean she ought to resign. You know and I know there's been attempts to impose tremendous pressures on universities with big money donors dictating various conditions under which they will give, and there's been attempts to reshape universities. Now, you and I know there's orthodoxies in the universities, that I'm against all orthodoxies. There's no doubt about that. But the very notion that you think it was about plagiarism, that's window dressing. Lawrence Tribe plagiarized from Peter J. Abrams much more than she did, and he remained a prize professor at Harvard Law. Doris Kearns plagiarized. There's a whole host of folk who plagiarize and don't get this kind of vicious treatment. When she says in her notes, she's called the N-word a zillion times, racial animus, death threats, people coming at her with white supremacists attacking bombardment.
Cornell.
That's what she said. You're going to say it has nothing to do with race? It has nothing to do with race, brother? Come on, come on.
You've known me a long time. I condemn anybody that ever said anything racist about her or to her or threatened her. That cannot exist. You're hearing that directly from me. But what you're saying here is not what you're addressing.
That means you criticize the people who were trashing her. You criticize the people who were trashing her.
No. You said it was racism that resulted in her being removed. Now, also, if you believe in rigorous academic standards, there are up to 50 allegations of her plagiarizing. Now, if a student of yours plagiarized something, I would imagine they'd probably get an F. I would imagine they might even be brought up for disciplinary action, maybe even kicked out of school. But the reason that she should have been disciplined here, and I don't call for firings, is because her answer was pathetic. Antifada, from the river to the sea. They're talking about eliminating an entire group of people. That should be unacceptable, and you should be leading that charge, not blaming the people that were angered by her remarks.
I stand against any genocide, brother. I stand against the genocide of your Irish brothers and sisters. I stand against the genocide of black people. I stand against the genocide of Jews. But I also stand against the genocide of Palestinians. And it's no accident that some of the same people who were behind pushing her out, Ackman himself, Summers himself, whole host of Bloom and others who have been against affirmative action, they also won't say a mumbling word about the genocide against Palestinians. Well, so when you tell me you're concerned about genocide, have you said a mumbling word about the genocide against Palestinians, brother?
Hang on.
Have you said a word against the Palestinians?
I'll tell you right now.
The genocide Palestinians?
Had the elected leaders in Gaza not committed the act of murder and terror against 1,400 Israelis, which would be the equivalent of 40,000
against the Irish,
which would be the equivalent of 40,000 Americans. Let me tell you something. If anyone killed 40,000 Americans in a day, I would want to fight and win the war. They started that fight. They're the ones that use innocent people as human shields. They had their headquarters under a hospital.
10,000 children in 2 months, brother? You come from an Irish people who've been treated
so bad. What do you want? What do you expect Israel to do? What do you expect? Israel was a victim of terror, and you are blaming the victim.
They need to end the siege and end the occupation. You end the siege and end the occupation.
Excuse me, it's not an occupation. Israel has not occupied Gaza for many. They haven't been in there for many years. They've offered them money. They've offered them aid.
Brother. No, no.
I've
You
been
live
there.
in cuckoo land. You live in